Hi everyone, I hope that everybody is doing well through this quarantine, hanging in there. Today I want to do part 2 of the coronavirus section of Travels from Your Couch. And the topic is struggles of the unknown. So, as everyone knows nothing pretty much. The unknown, our future is unknown right now. It's very, very unknown for a lot of reasons. Because no one knows, where this virus is going to go, how it's going to progress anymore. Everyone can guess, but honestly, no one really can give us a confident answer. I mean, it changes every single day. So if you're thinking about it when you're abroad and deciding whether or not you should stay, it's a really difficult decision because there were a lot of things that I put into my move, and a lot of hope that I had that I didn't just want to give up like that. I didn't just want to be like, oh, well, this is happening and I'm scared and I'm going to go home. I didn't ever want to do that. So I want to explain to you, I guess, the internal battle that I had with this unknown. So we'll start off with discussing the questions that I asked myself if I were to stay. So first I was thinking, okay, if I were to stay, what would happen if I got sick? The healthcare system isn't great there. They don't really have enough beds. They don't have enough ventilators. I'm young, and at the time when I was there, they were saying to everyone that, if you're young, like your immune system, it'll fight it off. You'll pretty much just be a carrier of it. You won't show many symptoms. You just shouldn't be around a lot of old people. They've come out now saying that, there are younger people my age getting sick, but at the time I was like, oh, well, if I get sick, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, I can just quarantine myself and recover. So I kind of was swaying on the staying side with that one. The next question, I was like, okay, what if I can't get home later? Like, what if I stayed and then all of a sudden they closed down the airports, like shut down everything, there were no flights going home. What if I got stuck? How would I feel about that? How would that affect me mentally? Because I know it wouldn't be good. And on top of that, what if I got stuck and then one of my family or friends got sick? I wouldn't be able to get to them. And that was a big thing for me too. Like, what if something, whether or not it's COVID-19, what if something happened at home and I would need to go home and I couldn't get home? And also around with being stuck, I would have been stuck for an unknown amount of time. I could have been stuck for a couple months. I could have been stuck a year. No one really knows. So is getting stuck something that I could be okay with? So there's just a few of those questions that I had to ask myself. Now, here are the other ones if I left. So if I left, I would actually be more susceptible to getting the virus on the way home. I would be around a lot of people. I'd be in airports where they tell you that you shouldn't be. What if I got sick going home? What would happen to me? Is that really a chance that I want to take? Because honestly, when I was in Indonesia, I wasn't really around a lot of people, because we all we saw was nature and stuff, and so and a lot of tourists weren't around either where we were. I was in Ubud, which is, it's not in it is a tourist part, but no tourists were there anymore. So I was in an area where I feel like I was safer than making that journey home. So another thing I asked myself is, do I want to, first of all, spend this crazy amount of money to get home, because the prices are absolutely insane now. They've definitely upped the prices, which isn't technically legal, but I still had to pay it because I didn't have a choice. So do I want to waste that money? And do I want to waste the money that I've already spent on this trip? That's a lot of money. I mean, I paid for a villa for a month, and even though it's cheap, it's still, I don't want to spend money that I'm not going to be using. And I spent a lot of money on this trip already. So do I want to spend more money and waste that money? And do I want to get home and regret leaving? Like, what if nothing really, what if this thing disappears suddenly, or like, I don't know, I mean, that's a long shot, but you know what I mean, what if it happens to be not as big of a deal as people were saying, and what if it's worse in the US than it is in Indonesia? Like, what, I mean, I don't want to regret leaving. Regret leaving is like the worst feeling, especially on something that you were looking so forward to doing. And also, just the feeling like I failed. Like, I've been talking about this for months. Really, it's been months. I've been planning this. I've been telling everyone, oh, I'm moving to Indonesia. It's gonna be so great. And then I come home 12 days later. It's like, I get it that it's a pandemic and it's horrible, but the feeling of like coming home after like having so many months already planned of traveling in Asia and living in Indonesia, it just like, that doesn't mean that it doesn't feel like I somewhat failed by coming home, you know? And the last thing, this was a big one too. I guess most of you know I was traveling with my boyfriend, and so he actually ended up staying. He decided it was best for himself to stay, and so that decision for me to leave, it's me making a decision, not knowing when I'm going to see him again, and not knowing if, you know, how Indonesia is going to continue to escalate, and worrying about his safety, and that's an ongoing thing. So yeah, that's a real big one too. So yeah, this decision wasn't easy as saying, oh, it's a pandemic, I need to get home right now. Like, no, I mean, I'm still fighting with that, with that internally, thinking, did I do the right thing? I don't know yet, and I won't know, but I made that decision, and we're just gonna have to ride it out.